good evening and thank you for joining us once again for Stories Making Headlines. I'm Surya Gaumas. Thousands of Namibians flocked to the Hosea Kutako International Airport this morning to witness the arrival of the human remains of Namibians from Germany. A delegation of traditional and government leaders led by Youth, Sport and Culture Minister Kathinambo Kathinambo received the remains in Germany last Friday and arrived back home today. Among those who went to the airport were Prime Minister Naas Angula, the German ambassador to Namibia, Egon Gochanke, and cabinet ministers. The plane carrying the remains and the delegation arrived at 6 o'clock. The plan was to hold a brief welcoming ceremony at the airport terminal, but people forced their way onto the runway and ran to the aircraft. The University of Namibia has completed an investigation into allegations that its lecturers awarded students extra or higher marks in return for sexual favors. However, UNAM's acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Osmond Mundamwele said the allegations could not be proven after an extensive investigation at all university campuses in the country. The investigation was conducted by a task team from the University's Security Department. Professor Mundamwele, who explains that even the Students' Representative Council, who went public with the matter, was given the opportunity to present the investigation team with evidence, but failed to do so. He said action will be taken against those who started the rumors. The Ministry of Health and Social Services pilot project to follow up on HIV-exposed babies is progressing well and has reportedly saved the lives of many little ones. The program was established to follow up on HIV-infected babies after it was found that some mothers do not bring their babies back to health facilities for follow-ups, a situation that left health professionals wondering about the baby's well-being. Since its establishment in 2009, the pilot project has been implemented in the Oshana, Oshikoto, Caprivi and Khomas regions. Follow-ups are done 6 weeks after the birth of a baby and 18 months later to determine if the child is still negative or if they have contracted HIV. In business news, the budget formulation process for the 2012-2013 national budget has started with input from the various ministries. As customary, the Finance Ministry convenes budgetary hearings to interrogate some of the expenditure items under the operational budget. Speaking at today's hearing, the Permanent Secretary Erika Shafuda said the meeting is expected to come up with proposals aimed at improving the budgeting process. The discussions also cover the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework 2012-2013 to 2014-2015. The Permanent Secretary believes the hearing presents a platform to discuss additional funding request proposals while negotiating on the ceilings for the next medium-term expenditure framework period. Now, in international news, at least 70 people have been killed by a huge suicide bomb blast near the government compound in the Somali capital of Mogadishu. Eyewitnesses said a truck carrying explosives was driven into a gate near a governmental ministry and detonated. Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for the attack. It is the largest attack since Al-Shabaab withdrew its forces from Mogadishu in August. Rescue workers said more than 50 people have been injured in the blast. Many of the victims were soldiers and students who had been waiting at the Education Ministry. The UN-backed transitional government condemned the attack and said no senior government officials were hurt in the blast. While in sports news now, Namibian professional golfer Joe Nwanga is still a force to be reckoned with on the golf turf. Nwanga will be one of the draw cards in 2 upcoming tournaments to be held in South Africa over the next 2 weekends. Joe Nwanga will first parade his talents in a game in Kimberley at the North Cape Pro-Am this weekend, which is to be followed by a Vodacom Origins of Golf Tours tournament, where he will face some of South Africa's finest golfers. The Namibian golfer has proved tremendously on his game, and it is just a matter of time before he makes his maiden appearance in the popular Sunshine Tour, which is targeted by ambitious golfers as the entry-level tournament to the international golfing circuit. Well, those are the stories that made headlines tonight. Join us tomorrow again during the same time slots. Until then, it's good night.